Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, and you?
Can't complain. I can't complain. Everything's getting better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I can't really.
Yeah,
How about yourself?
I'm doing great. A little
Good.
sore from the gym, but it's, it
It is what it is, right?
is what it
Unfortunately,
is.
it is. Well, first we'll just talk. I want to first talk about just quarantine. What was quarantine like? I know we're technically not in quarantine, but at the same time, we kind of are. I
All
don't
right,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like weird.
Yeah, it's like you can get off the porch, but you can't go but too far.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Quarantine for me, honestly, wasn't too bad. I do have a little one. She just turned 3 on Sunday, and I have a big
Aw, happy
one.
birthday.
Oh, thank you. And my oldest, he'll be 16 in November, so it wasn't too bad. So he was still in school, and my well now 3-year old, we just made do. The only thing that I didn't like is like on play dates and different things like that. So we end up getting stuck into the house a lot, but we made it work.
Made it work. Okay. And was it hard for you though, like kind of becoming? 'Cause I know like every parent became kind of quote unquote teacher. Um,
Oh no, my mother was an educator for over 40 years. And then I did some teaching. So it's like every day here anyway. So
oh, so you were a
they wish
lucky
they were in
one.
school.
They were,
Like I don't want to deal with that woman. That we just went back, right into our routine. So she didn't,
oh, okay. So that's good.
I'll
Oh,
teach
so
you.
that was good for you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
not good for
awesome.
them,
Not good
but
for
great
them.
for me.
Yeah. I know, because I was thinking of like if I was younger, I was like, dang, I wish I would have loved it because you could have done a lot. I feel like get away with a lot of things if you didn't have a parent that was really knowing teaching, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't my house. My
No,
mother, it was like one of those things. I remember my sister, my mother was teaching my sister something, and my mom was like a math specialist, and my mom was literally like making my sister so frustrated. And my brother came downstairs, and my older brother, and was just like, "Mom, like, just back off." So
no.
that's my household.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, I want to ask you, like, growing up, how was it for you? Where did you grow up? What was, I guess, when you're young, what was like when you're under like when you're still in the single digits, what did you want to be at that age, and what was it like growing up for you?
Well, I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I'm a
Okay.
Jersey girl.
Okay. I love
My
Jersey.
my family's from Newark, uh,
Okay.
and growing up, what did I want to be? An actress.
You did. Okay.
An actress. That's all I wanted to be, and also a ballerina. I did that for a little bit, but yeah, but an actress.
And what age did you know? Like, what age? I know at age 12, you started getting into theater and dance lessons.
Hmm.
Was that the time like where you told yourself like, "Hey, this is serious," or was it more just like a hobby at that time still?
Well, the want to be an actress, my mother
Hmm.
would say I came out her womb acting like a fool. So it's always been there, but it wasn't until I started high school when I was 12. And
Okay.
that's when I started taking improv classes. And that's when it started to become okay, so this is more than a hobby. This is something that I want to do full time. So my first professional job was my senior year. I was 16 and I got a background role for Law and Order. So
Oh my God.
that's
Yeah.
where it started.
Yeah, you weren't playing around. Like you went right to the heavy hitters. Like,
Yeah, I ended up because I grew up in the suburbs and I wanted to go to NYU Tisch. So I don't know how to take a train, a bus, a taxi. So my
yeah.
father wanted me to see the campus before I, went to the school. So
Uh-huh.
we ended up. My father like snuck me out in the middle of the night, and we ended up on the set of Law and Order. And I like to talk a lot. I'm like one of those
Uh-huh.
kids that never shut up. That's me. um, and I ended up meeting like the director at the time, the two main actors, and I was like, "Oh, I just want to be an actress." And they gave me like a small role, like if you blink, you see me. But to my mother, that was like the best thing in the world. She kept replaying and replaying it. You go like this, and I'm gone. But that's where it started.
That's awesome though, because I feel like that doesn't happen today. Like everything is so you know, like just to get a role on the spot,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like something, like you said, even though it's background or just something in the scene,
Yeah.
everything's like so prepared and
Mm-hmm.
you can't be on set period unless you're, you know, a part of the,
Part
you
of it.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, the setup
I don't know how
beforehand.
I don't know how it happened. It's probably my mouth.
Right?
But it happened.
Yeah. Well, tell me about too, like, okay, your first primetime debut was on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, like, what did that feel like? Because you said, like, Law and Order, your first primetime is on HBO. Like, these aren't small shows, these aren't small networks. These are like the top, you know what I'm saying? Everyone
Yeah.
knows, regardless if you watch them or not, you know the network or you know that show. So
Yes.
what was it like for you just like hitting it off, you know, strong?
Well, it really started out because I thought I would go straight into theater because that's my background. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I'd go straight into theater. I had done a lot of off-Broadway productions. And then I was like, well, let me just try film and see what happens there. So actually, HBO was probably one of my first big jobs that I booked right out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big perfectionist. And to be honest, I never tell anybody this, but I messed up in the audition, and I never mess up. I'm such a, you know, it
Yeah.
got to be a certain kind of way. And
Mm-hmm.
I messed up. I forgot my line and I started laughing, which is so not me, especially when you come there, you better come.
Good.
And I didn't think I was going to book it. So I got into the elevator and I was just like, God, let your will be done. If it's for me, whatever. And then I had actually auditioned for another role, which I was expecting to book, and I booked HBO. So it was such a big surprise. It felt wonderful. It was such a
Yeah.
great experience. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I didn't have any
That's huge.
on.
And
There was some scenes that were a little risque, but it was fun. It was fun. I was comfortable. It was good.
yeah, but and it's like you're like I don't know, I feel like especially in the beginning, like you kind of just kind of figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
like you it is what it is. It's part of
Mm-hmm.
your yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to talk about the billboards
Mm-hmm.
because I remember reading that, and that's something I would do because I'm totally that type of person where if I can't get to you, I'll just get to the main corporate.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want. I don't want to talk to the management. I don't want to talk to you know because
Mm-hmm.
like if you don't get your way, it's like well, hey, I want an answer. I'm gonna try. And what you did is like it inspired me because I was like that's something I would I'm like that. My parents always told me like you'll figure out a way, some way,
Figure out a way.
somehow. Like you'll
Yeah.
get to that person to see you, even if they don't know your name, they're gonna see your
They're
face
going
and
to see. Yeah.
yeah. So tell me like how it all came to life, because yeah.
So I put up the billboard in total. I put up three billboards. One for the first time I put up was actually 7 years prior.
Uh-huh.
Same thing. Let me be your next leading lady. But the idea came, I had just gotten these new headshots and I was just like, you know what headshots you submit them to,
Yeah.
and you know these people ain't gonna really. And I was like,
Yep.
and at the time I was a single mother with my son. I was just like, I really, really, really wanted this to work. And I had been watching the movie Dorothy Dandridge, and she was trying to get an audition with Auto Primature
Uh-huh.
for Carmen. And her manager went to the casting director, was just like, hey, I want to, want my client, want my artist to be a part of, this movie. And he
Hmm.
was like, well, I see dozens of actors all the time. And if I don't walk out my door and see her face, then she's not relevant. So her manager takes her pictures and plasters them on his garage door.
So
So
everyone,
I'm like, but she, because she got the audition.
yeah, she got the
She got the
she
audition.
got what
So
she
I thought
wanted.
that was,
So
yeah, pretty clever. And I remember one day because I was, like I said, I was a teacher, and I'm driving to North to go teach, and I'm driving and I see a billboard sign that says, put your ad here. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. So I ended up calling the billboard company, and they said, well, what do you want to advertise? I said, myself. So they go, oh, your business? I was like, no, myself. So
so
then I explained to the guy like what my idea was, and I actually, because I still live in Jersey, and this was Atlanta, and so he was really really cool. The agent, he actually like scouted the area for me, so we could be in perfect location to the studio.
hmm
And then that went up, and I didn't hear anything back. And then I booked HBO, and I'm like I said, I'm a perfectionist. So I was like, okay, well maybe I need to
Hmm.
show myself approved. So I went back and I worked harder on my craft. I studied, and I booked HBO. So I'm like, okay, I got some better
Yeah.
headshots. Maybe if she could get a job. And then my husband was just like, yeah, let's just put it up again and see what happens. And
Yeah.
we did.
That is like, people need to take more notes like that and think out of the box because, like you said, so many agents and people see those headshots and it's just like one after, like it
Mhm.
is what it is. Like that's
Yeah.
just how the industry is, and audition after audition, and it's 1,000 no's and maybe that one yes.
And that one, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, but what did it feel like? Who called you first from, like, I know the casting call, like what, like did you recognize the number? Like, did you not pick up? Because me, I'm the type of person, I won't pick up any.
No, pig, I don't, because they bill collectors.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know.
I know. I know.
I let that mess go to voicemail.
Uh,
I'm like, who was
yeah.
that? So the first response that I really got before, like besides the press, was when Tyler put in the Instagram post about, not to do this. This isn't the way to go. And he was absolutely right. My out of the box thinking um, isn't the way to traditionally go to how to book a role. Um, so that's what happened. That was my first take of the response, is when he put on the Instagram post.
It's so like, yeah, but then on the other hand, it's so, yes, it is against it, but at the same point, it's just so good. Like, because I go
Well,
against the grain too. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
just,
think what it shows is that does it may not be that thing to do, but there are things to do that you get a chance and opportunity to step out of the box or just go for it. And I was just like, how many of us sit back in regular jobs and don't step out on faith, don't go for what we
hmm,
believe in. And I just wanted, like, I'm so for that. It may
yeah,
not be this particular thing to do, but which is all, which I say is my journey.
hmm,
But there are things to do that fall in the lines of still going with protocol, but also stepping out on faith.
yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you. Well, so now you're a part of two Tyler Perry shows. Like,
Mhm.
so first we'll talk about Sisters. Like, how did that, like, tell me about, just, did you have to audition 100%, or was it, how did it
Yeah,
all come about for you?
I had to audition. I say this because this is how it felt, and I'm pretty sure this is how it was. It was
Uh-huh.
just like, oh, so you like to put up billboards, don't you? let's see, let's see what you can do. So it made it a little bit difficult, that I believe, which is fine for me because I don't have a problem with working harder.
Yeah.
So I auditioned a lot for this particular role, to show myself approved that, and I put a target, let's like see what you can do. So yeah, I auditioned a lot and I finally booked it. And it was actually just supposed to be just for one episode, and then it came
Hmm.
back for season two. Yeah, for season two.
Yeah, that, and that's like like you said, it's like a pro and a con because it was a kind of like a negative thing, but at the same point, you were known. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
you. Like, okay,
Hmm.
well, show us the best you have, and
With the best you could,
yeah,
but
you could.
which is fine, because for me that kind of thing gives me fire underneath my butt, so I can just prove what I can do, which was fine, but it
Yeah,
definitely wasn't easy.
yeah. Well, how has it been though, being a part of that show? Because it became, it's is right now such like a phenomenon, and it's
Hmm.
becoming a fan favorite and kind of like a cult following. Like,
Hmm.
there's a lot of, you see it on Instagram all the time. Tidbits, certain scenes. How does it just feel being a part of a show that kind of a legacy is being made for it?
Yeah, it's the new generation girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
So girlfriends, is
Yeah,
iconic. and
definitely.
these and this show and these women have, definitely put themselves definitely in that lane. So it feels wonderful. They're beautiful black women, they're strong black leads. And so it's amazing to be a part of that show with them.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about now this summer.
Hmm.
there's not an exact date yet, right?
It's not. But
It's
it's in
not.
August. Yeah.
Because I remember hearing about it more and more. Like it's slowly been more and more talked about. I feel. I remember first seeing like the press release, and now I see more and more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me all about All the Queen's Men. I
All the
mean,
Queens, man.
yes.
So it's a show that's going to be on BT Plus. It's about a woman named Madam who runs an exotic strip club
Hmm.
and all her businesses throughout the strip club. Not trying to give too much away. I
Yeah.
play Blue, which is her head of security. Um, Madam and I, well, Madam and Blue are best friends growing up. I'm extremely loyal to Madam, and in that relationship. Blue is somebody that you need at the club when things are about to go down.
Okay.
It's
She's
no
one of them.
questions asked. I don't need to know what happened beforehand, who did what. It's just that, are you upset? That's it. So that's that's Blue. She's unapologetic. Her loyalty to Madam is beyond beyond.
Yeah, and I know like the cast, like aside from you, you have Eva Marcel, you got Sky Black, you have Candice Maxwell. Like, how was it? Just like, did you know any of them beforehand? How was the camaraderie coming together as you were filming? And was it shot during the pandemic?
It was shot during the
It
pandemic.
was okay.
Um, so of course I knew Eva. She's Eva.
Yeah.
And the other cast members I met when I got on set. But
Okay.
as far as the camaraderie, yeah, we're family, especially going through the pandemic. It brings you closer as castmates, and we all understand the assignment in which
Hmm.
we're trying to create this beautiful show. And so with that passion, we all just collectively come together on that note. So it's a fun cast. It's really enjoyable.
And like, would you say, like, this show, what was the most difficult thing for you, and what was the most fun part for you? Would you say just filming?
Well, uh, I think well, I wouldn't even say during the pandemic it made anything difficult because how Tyler um, does things is so efficient.
I've
So
heard.
yeah, you don't play no games.
Uh-huh.
It's so efficient. So it made things even going into the setting, our preparation beforehand, making sure that everybody was doing their part.
Hmm.
It made things easier. So it really wasn't too much difficulty
Okay.
because, like I said, everybody knew the assignment. So everybody wanted to come in. We wanted to put on a great show and give our best performances. So there were no difficulties at all. Not even during the pandemic. How he runs is very efficient for everybody. So
Yeah.
we could put on a great show. So I had lots of fun. Probably this because we've been shooting. So like our second round, I think, is when I began to loosen up a little
Uh-huh.
bit. Like my castmates were like, "Yo, I didn't even know you could talk," and I was like, "Yeah, I talk." Like I talk, so we became more acquainted with one another. But we just absolutely enjoyed the show that we're going to be putting out for people to see.
Yeah, and it just seems like it would be a fun. Just I know there hasn't been a lot shown, but just that it's in like a club and just
Oh, that's easy.
living that life again, and like
Yeah.
just got to be fun, like just to that whole aura, for a show. It's
Yeah, the atmosphere is live. It's everything that you would expect if you were going to a male exotic club. And the men who play the actors who play the strippers, they've been strippers before,
hmm
and in female because we have Trouble played by Carter, and they bring it. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's fun, it's sexy, some danger. It's all in the above. People be walking out like, yeah. So we know it's going to come all that way through the spring because if we enjoyed it, y'all gonna enjoy it. We know it.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you too, like, how does it feel? Because I know a couple people that have been there, Telepara Studios. Like, what? It's like a friggin' just one of the most amazing things I've seen on just seeing through a video so
Mhm.
far. I've never been there yet, but like, what does it feel like? Just yeah.
It is an experience to know that one man was able
Yeah.
to put all that together. I think I've been to the studio 4 times, and I have not yet seen the entirety
Oh my
of
God.
the studio. It is incredible what he created, and actually like
Hmm.
tangible, like you can see it, you can touch it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Like I walk through it, and you can just see like, yo, there's land and land and land, and he's just creating. And what's the biggest studio now in the world?
Yeah.
And that's by one man.
One man. Yeah.
So and one vision. And so you get to like walk on the ground in which this man dreamt of this. And
Yeah.
so it's beautiful to see. I get excited every time I go there. I really, really love it.
Yeah. I could imagine. Like it's just the little parts I've seen of people like in the golf carts like going around. I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
God. Like
I haven't driven
crazy.
one yet. I can't ride a bike. So I just and I like my driving, like my children say I can't drive.
Yeah.
But so I've never driven up the golf cart there because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna crash it, and I don't want to be that one who
Well,
crashes the golf cart on Tyler Perry set. That's not cool.
I would do the same thing. I agree with you there.
You would crash it?
No, no, I'm saying I
Wow.
wouldn't drive it because I would be nervous of,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That
need
ain't
no
right.
hiccups. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
They have
mm-mm.
people they drive all back. I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
Cool.
I'll
I
walk.
want,
We walk
I'm,
in here.
and what does it feel like too, though? Like you were saying, you had the billboards up, and now you're a part of 2 of his shows so far. Like, how was it meeting him? Because he's such a, like someone I feel we've all looked up to for
Yeah,
so many different things, not just one thing. Like everything he's done is just extraordinary, and coming from nothing and making it, like you said, from one vision, one man,
yeah.
like one name. It's not anything else. Like, what is
Nothing.
it like meeting him and just having that relationship?
So our encounter was our first encounter was quite interesting. He didn't even know that it was me that had put up
Okay.
the billboard, who he was directing. Because when he's on set and he's directing, he's like I said, he's so efficient. It's about
Hmm.
getting things done. And as an actress, I appreciate that. So when I first came on to do the first season with Officer Rhea, he didn't even know it was me. And somebody told him like maybe a day or two like afterwards, like that's the billboard girl. And he was like, oh, that's
Oh,
not. So it was cool. I preferred it that way because like I said, I think I've made it a little bit harder on myself.
uh-huh.
So I was just like, so but he didn't, and it was just like, oh, nice to meet you afterwards. And it was very cool. He's very professional.
Hmm.
I don't think we haven't talked about the billboard or anything like that. It's just like, yo, you here to work? I'm here to direct. Let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate that because, like you said, he's about his business, and
Yep.
yeah, I love that. Well, I want to ask you too, like being a mom and a wife in this industry, I could imagine is so hard because, well, during the pandemic, it's nice because you could audition
Hmm.
virtually, everything. But before, it was always, fly to LA, fly to Atlanta,
Hmm.
go to New York City, be in New York City. Like, how is it for you just balancing everything and for mentally and physically? Because it's a lot, I could imagine, being, in the industry with a family.
Well, my husband is also an actor,
Yeah.
and so that helps. And so, quick story about my husband because I think he's so wonderful. My husband was an actor in LA, and I had booked HBO, and he loved me so much, he stopped pursuing, came to Jersey to
Uh-huh.
marry me. And it was just like, well, you pursue your career. I'll put everything I have on hold so that
Hmm.
we can focus on you, and I'll work and, take care of the bills because, when you're in pursuit of acting, that don't pay nobody's bills.
Yeah.
So my husband was going to do all that in pursuit so I can pursue my dream. So he helps me balance out my family life so that I can do this. Yeah.
That's some true love right there, because you don't
Isn't
hear
it? He's so
that.
sweet.
Yeah, you don't hear that from, especially, 2 people in the industry. It's usually like, sometimes I've heard horror stories because they're so like, trying to one up each other. Like,
Competitive.
Yeah, you know, because I get it. It's a competitive spirit with the industry, with anything in the entertainment industry. I feel it's just,
Yeah.
but that's
But we
awesome.
look at it like, if even when my husband, like, if one of us only makes this, which we know we're going to both be pursuing,
Hmm.
if only one of us make it, it's like we both made it. So
Yeah,
that's how this family functions. My kids understand, especially my son, because he's been with me throughout all my pursuits, my first Billboard,
yeah.
everything. So he understands how things go. I'm not really impressed. He's a teenager. But my husband,
You're just mom to him. You're just, yeah,
yeah, it is. I was like, because my son's name is Elijah, so I call him E. I'm like, E, you want to watch my interview? He's like, I want to clean up my room. What teenager wants to clean up their room? But
never
anyway,
me. Yeah.
so my husband is the balance for me to make sure that we still have a functioning family life, and as we pursue this career.
Yes, I love it. Well, what is your dream role and then dream genre that's kind of out of the box that you wouldn't think people would expect from you genre wise that you would love to play?
So I do. My dream role is Cleopatra.
Okay.
Coming from like the classical theater
Uh-huh.
background, and I think they kind of may have gotten it wrong. Um, Nothing against Elizabeth Taylor,
Yeah, it's a
but
little
we in
different.
Egypt.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
You know, so
yeah.
I would love to play that, whether it's on stage or in film. And as far as genre, I don't think because I love improv, I love comedy.
Okay.
I think I'm funny. My kids don't think I'm funny, but I think I'm funny. So I don't think people, especially because I'm right now, I'm in the dramatic genre.
Hmm.
And I don't think people know that I also love comedy.
I could see you like now that Medea is officially back. Yeah, we need you, and because Medea is like a good mix of comedy with
And
then
drama.
some real drama issues.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the best thing about Medea movies. And he officially announced Medea's back.
It
So
is.
yeah, I could see you. Yeah, it's gonna.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we just gonna tell God that that's
yeah. Then universe. That's how God in
yeah.
the universe put it out there.
Yeah.
Because when he announced it, I was like, yes, like
Yeah.
she's back. Because
He's
when
back.
yeah, because when she was gone, I was like, man, especially the pandemic hit, I was like, we need
We do. We need something
yeah,
to watch where we can laugh, cry, and that's definitely the Medea
yeah,
franchise.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely laughing.
It's more than yeah, crying because you're laughing so hard. It's how
Yeah.
funny it is. But would you ever work with your husband in a film? Like, would you work together? How? What do you feel about that?
He wants to. Um, and so yeah, I would. Because we do have this, though we are always on each other's side, we do sometimes have that competitive nature. So
Uh-huh.
who would win this this scene? I know I would win, and I don't want him hurt because I would win. But yeah, I would love to work with my husband, like do the whole like Will and Jada thing. Yeah, I would love
Okay.
to.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And during this quarantine, I know you've been busy with work, but just what are your hobbies just to literally relax? What are some hobbies that you enjoyed or that you kind of maybe didn't know you had during quarantine?
Uh, not. I don't. I think I've done everything that nothing came up new.
Okay.
I probably, not probably, I know for relaxation for me, I love to dance. So
Okay.
I'll go to the studio in my gym and I'll dance. That's something that's very relaxing for me, even though my flexibility has changed since I'm now in my 30s. It's
I
not the
know how you
same
feel. I tell everyone in their 20s, you better make sure you live every day in your
every
20s
day.
because
Those
after
30s,
30s, I'm
it's like a
34.
lower back pain. Like, man, what are you
Man, every
talking about?
day I feel something. I'm like, what
Yeah,
is
my legs just started cracking.
yeah, everything? Like I thought 30s was gonna be like the new
Yeah.
good years, and I'm like,
Mm,
dang, I go to
mm.
the doctor more to make sure I'm all good than I
Then you
ever did
did.
in my whole
Yeah.
20s. I think I
Mm,
never went to the doctors in my 20s.
never.
Yeah.
So like I've just done, the same thing that I'm trying to think of anything um new. Probably like walking. I do a
Rocket.
lot of walking. I used to do like 10 miles a day. Not at one
Okay.
time, but I would split it like 5 miles in the morning,
Hmm.
5 hours, and I did a lot of that. So that was also something new I discovered. If that was anything, but yeah, I just dance. That's really fun for me.
Okay. Love it. Love it. And then, like you said, you've done so much, but I know you still want to accomplish so much in your career.
Mhm.
What, who is on your bucket list that you're like, when I am old and chilling in my mansion, with my Oscar,
Mhm.
who needs to be on your checklist of co-stars or yeah, what's the list?
I do have a list.
Yes, see, I'm so happy you did because I feel like everyone's too shy or like don't want to say, but I'm like, no,
Oh no, no, no! I got
yeah, you got, okay.
okay. So Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, Julia Roberts,
Julia,
Lawrence
yes.
Fishburne,
Okay.
and my girl Meryl Streep.
Oh my God, yes. A good mix.
Yep.
Such a good mix of people.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
fine.
Who?
Maybe a little longer, but those are like
Yeah,
top. Yeah.
those are top. Okay. And I'm happy it's people I know because some people I'm like, there's so much new. I guess I'm so old school now where
Hmm.
I'm trying to get to know more and more the young because I guess I'm in my 30s now. I feel like, oh, who's that?
Who's that?
Yeah, who's that? Like younger kids in their 20s, like, oh, that's the new Spider-Man or that's the
Yeah,
new
I'm like,
Superman. I'm like,
who?
oh, Tobey Maguire? I'm like,
Yeah,
that's what I think of Spider-Man, or I think of Michael Keaton as Batman.
yeah, that wasn't he great?
He was so great. That's my Batman. Like
That's
Michael.
my baby.
Yeah.
You remember?
Now,
You remember? And it was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle
She was
Pfeiffer
Catwoman, and also Halle Berry.
and
And
Danny
then
DeVito was the Penguin.
I was just about to say when Danny DeVito was the Penguin, that was so good.
Yep, though that's what like I feel kids today don't
They don't
because
know.
they don't know like because we have all these graphics now today and
Yeah,
everything's so you could do so much I guess. And that time we had it, but we didn't have as much, but we just
it
appreciated it
was good.
more.
And it was an appreciation.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very very different. Even when you talk about like music stars, my son talks about. I know I'm like,
Who?
who's little? Like I have no idea. I'm not hip.
Yeah. I'm the same. I watch these award shows, music award. I'm like, who is the, where's I, I know like I know their song. I don't know who they are
I
because
don't.
I
Yeah, I
hear
know
it on
their
the
songs. I don't
radio.
know who they are, or I can't pronounce it.
Exactly. It's so
I'm like
funny you
little
say that.
Uzi. What?
I'm the same. Like, what?
His
Xion? I'm like, what? Like, what?
what? I'm like, what did his
Yeah.
mother name him?
Yeah. I'd be so confused. Like, if it's not 2009 and under, I'm kind of like,
Mm. But
uh,
those 2000s and 90s, like that's some good music. You can't get
man. Kids, that's why I pray kids have good parents to teach them
the good music.
the good music because today's music,
You know,
R&B still there. I'll say that.
this is still there because her. I've
Her,
been
oh,
listening to her. Fantastic.
amazing. Yeah, I can't. So I'll say that. I love my R&B, so I'm happy that's still alive and relevant.
Yes.
That's the one good thing. Um, but what else are you working on? Now that the world is kind of, like I said, open. Like all the major cities are open. Because I know Atlanta at one point was kind of the only thing open.
Okay.
Chicago was shut down. New York was shut down. LA was shut down, and now we're all open. And Atlanta's been open. So, what are you currently working on right now?
Well, I'm just really getting ready for all the Queen's Men. I'm sorry, my daughter.
Uh-huh. Oh, you're fine.
She's supposed to be asleep. Say hi.
Hi.
Say good night. Okay.
Good night.
So she's supposed to be asleep. It's like 9:35. So I'm just getting ready. Right now, I'm just getting ready for all the Queen's Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. And then, the rest of, I guess, because we are halfway. I forget it's halfway through 2021 now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like, well, is there anything that you want to do that's maybe out of the box between the end of this year or 2022?
I don't think anything is out of the box. I definitely want to get into film.
Okay.
That's for me, that's the next thing. So it's not out, of course, it's not out of the box, but definitely going to that area, being on those movie screens and win those
Well,
Oscars.
right? Yes. I know. I can't wait till the Oscars are back to like normal next year because it was so
Yeah.
different watching them this year. I was like, this is so
It was, yes, it was different. And I watched everything.
definitely.
This year was different, of course, but
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. Yeah, everything was, but it was definitely. I don't know. Just I'm back to. I need my norm.
I did.
But Raquel, I want to thank you so much for taking out the time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I
Same
can't
here.
wait. I cannot wait to watch All the Queen's Men and just see. I feel like it's going to be a lot of talk about the show.
Yeah, me too.
I have a feel like it's just what it's about. It's a little risque.
A little.
It's yeah, it's a lot risque, and I don't think people kind of. I think people have an idea, but they don't really know. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of cool. You're keeping people like guessing in a way
Hmm.
until it premieres.
Yeah, it's going to be something. I suggest everybody get a cup of lemonade with some ice, because it's going to be hot.
And
The women are not playing. Either is not playing.
it's
It
like,
is going to be steamy. Every part of it is going to be hot.
I love it. I love it. But I appreciate you so much. Hopefully, get to meet you in person in the future.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll cross paths some way somehow.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, but I appreciate you and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we'll speak soon.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep in contact. Okay. Well, stay safe and have a good weekend because it's
You,
almost, yeah, it's Friday
yeah,
almost.
right, tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah. Thank God. Okay.
Have
Be
a good one.
safe.
See you
You
soon.
too.